Down the rabbit hole. So, in this episode of Down the Rabbit Hole, we're moving on from the article that Boris Johnson wrote about single mothers and, as he said, their ill-raised children, that sparked Nick Ferrari back in 2019, just before the general election, to ask Johnson how many children he had. And incidentally, he refused to answer.
How many children do you have?
Look, I love my children very much, but they are not standing at this election.
No,
and I'm not therefore going to comment on them.
Are you?
Now we go to this exchange between Emma Barnett quizzing Tory MP Johnny Mercer on whether or not it's in the public's interest to know how many children Johnson has got. Obviously, it was to determine the type of character he is, and so that people could judge whether or not he was the right person to run the country.
Johnny Mercer, how many children do you have?
I have 2.
OK, I have 1. So we've both put out our number of children there. How many children does Boris Johnson have?
I'm not interested in Boris's private or family life.
Do you know?
I'm not interested in it. I have never had this conversation with him.
OK, because right now, if you Google Boris Johnson, how many children does he have? And I'll explain why I'm asking this. It comes up as officially as 4. That's with his still wife, now separated with Marina Wheeler. But there was a court case in 2013 where a woman lost a privacy case by a judge who said it was in the public interest when he was running to be mayor and he was in office, that it was in the public knowledge to know that he had an extramarital affair with a woman who later gave birth to a daughter while he was married. That was a ruling by a judge. It then came out in that court case that it was alleged that he had another child outside of wedlock. So it's between 5 and 6 children that our future Prime Minister has. And would you not say it is fair and right to be able to get a straight answer to how many children our next Prime Minister has?
I think that the way people will look at this is that an individual's private life is their concern, and what they are looking for at the moment is leadership for this nation out of the very clear and very difficult position.
Leadership out of a clear and difficult position. It was argued by a newspaper in that same court case that it went to the issue of recklessness and whether on that account he was fit for public office. We still don't know from Boris Johnson himself whether he has 5 children or 6 children. I don't really care, if I'm honest, between the two. What I care about is that we don't know and why we don't know. You are saying these are important moments for leadership. Why can't he be more transparent about how many children he has? We've just had Father's Day.
We have just had Father's Day, and discussing our personal lives and our private lives is all a decision that public figures like me make. I have chosen to discuss mine. Boris has not chosen to discuss his, and he's well within his rights to do that.
The Master of the Rolls Lord in that court case in 2013, he said it was a public interest matter which the electorate was entitled to know when considering his fitness for high public office. This is not my Mary Whitehouse moment. This is asking you then a different question. Why do you think he has chosen not to be honest about something as basic as how many children he has?
What Boris chooses to do in his personal life and what he chooses to talk about is entirely a matter of him. And it'd be entirely inappropriate for me to comment on any of that.
Click here for Carol Vorderman versus the Mercers. Or here for when Johnny Mercer was rinsed by Ian Hislop on Have I Got News for You.